Noticing what it feels like sitting still, a state of mind at the end of the day. It's good to remember with this practice, what we're trying to develop is an ability to just watch and notice the present moment as it is. We're not trying to make anything special out of the present moment. We're not trying to force the mind to be peaceful or the body to feel a certain way. And we're just opening up to the present moment and watching. Luang Por Sumedho, when he teaches, one of the points he repeats very, very frequently is to trust in awareness. That's a good thing to remember, because I think it's a common mistake we make in approaching the attitude we bring to the practice is to want to get something out of it. We want to make the mind peaceful, we want to develop concentration, we want to get jhanas, we want to get insight, we want to get enlightened. And it's all wanting, it's all coming from desire. So if that's our approach to meditation, it makes meditation hard work, because things are the way they are, not necessarily the way we want them to be. So we just take note of even an attitude that comes out. Sometimes these things are just powerfully conditioned. Attitudes cannot necessarily be changed, but we can be aware of it. So when we come to sit down and meditate, what do we feel like? Does it feel like we have to do it, or is it something we enjoy doing? We feel indifferent, interested or bored, energetic or sleepy, restless. It's all grist for the mill, because if we come to meditation, to a moment of meditation as a moment where we just bring attention back to the moment, the present, and take note of what the body feels like sitting here. Just notice without judging, without criticizing. It feels relaxed, it feels comfortable or not comfortable, it feels painful, it feels energized, awake. We can sit up straight easily and we feel the body is awake, or we feel sleepy, tired, the end of a long day. It can be anything, and it doesn't have to be anything special. We can just allow it to be what it is. And notice that in trusting awareness, the awareness just notes what it feels like, what the body feels like, what the mind feels like, what the mood is, the state of mind, the thinking, the exhaustion, the hunger, whatever it is, to just notice. And remember, awareness isn't anything at all. The function of consciousness is to know the present moment as it is. So if we feel tired, can just sit down and give up on trying to get jhana this evening and just notice this evening I feel tired. Consciousness isn't tired. Consciousness just only knows. It doesn't have any characteristic any other than knowing. And we can know tired feels like this. We can let the body relax. We don't need to try and sit ramrod straight. We can just sort of let the body relax a bit, feel tired, and just notice what that's like. Eyelids are heavy, sticky. The head wants to fall forward. The posture is not necessarily so good. We can just give it just enough energy to help keep awake, but then just notice what a tired body feels like. Or sitting for half an hour, maybe there's pain in the knee, pain in the hips, in the back somewhere. We can shift postures, or we can just sit with it and just notice how the way we bring attention to the way the body feels affects the body. We can endure a pain in the body for a very long time if we know how to just watch it without feeding it. So to learn to trust consciousness, to trust awareness, trust mindfulness, intuitive awareness, all these names pointing at the same thing, but coming back here, just allowing that to be the center of perception, allowing stillness to develop around that in a very relaxed way, so we're not trying to hold on to it. The mind drifts off and we just kind of gently bring it back here in a very open way. And then the mind is able to relax in any situation. It can relax when we're tired, it can relax when we're busy, it can relax when we're just woke up in the morning or before going to bed. Whether we're in the city, out in the forest, in nature, it's too hot, too cold, or just right. All of that is just, in the present moment, it's just the way it is. And bringing attention back to here and now, and just noticing what the situation is like, what the conditions are. And remembering consciousness is here, awareness is here, and these are sankharas, just conditions arising in the present moment, and changing and ceasing. And the awareness can just stay through all of that, right here and now. Notice, establish awareness here and now. You can follow the breath for a bit, and then the mind starts wandering. You bring it back, and you can kind of follow those tendencies of the mind of wanting to wander around. You can even follow that by just allowing them to be, but don't try to run after these things, don't try to resist them, but just sort of come back here and just experience this, what a distraction feels like here and now. It arises in consciousness. If we don't follow it, it just sort of dissolves. If we follow it or try to fight it, then something else happens and we kind of lose that center. Ajahn used to speak about meditation as being a way of resting, allowing the heart to rest. Nompo Sumedo calls it a holiday of the heart. And sometimes you don't really relate to meditation like that. Sort of, what are they talking about? So, every now and then when I find old habits cropping up in meditation, when I sit down and there's this kind of gung-ho attitude like that, and sort of like I'm meditating now, if this is serious. And just remind myself, okay, this is supposed to be relaxing, it's supposed to be a holiday, it's supposed to be resting. Just to use something like that to sort of reorient the attitude we're bringing to practice. So I don't want to go on for too long this evening. I think everybody's had a long day. Unless anybody has a question, I think we can just thank you for all coming this evening, joining together for some chanting and a bit of meditation. And then tomorrow, Lumpur Sumedho is going to come out here, up here to the sala at about 8:15. We're planning to have the meal at 9 o'clock, so it's about 45 minutes for anyone who has free time who wishes to come and listen to him, ask any questions. It's a good time. And I think for tomorrow that'll probably be the only public appearance he's going to make, because we've been traveling a lot since November. We've been going different places and haven't spent much time at the monastery. And we just got back 4 days ago from a 1-month trip in Europe, and still feeling the jet lag. So Lumpur's a very bright mind and an old body, and the body has its contingencies that the mind cannot override, so he does need rest. So I think tomorrow he'll probably use most of the day just to take some rest. And then, so tomorrow morning from 8:15 to 9, and then the next day again, and then on the evening of the 27th, and there'll be this inauguration that is planned. So I'll leave it with that. And just for closing, we have a little traditional way of closing the evening. If you look on page 26, so we'll just do like we did before, we just chanted in Pali, so we'll stick to that this evening. We'll just do the closing homage in Pali. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhaṃ Bhagavaṃ Abhivādemi. Swagato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammaṃ Namasami. Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka saṅgho saṅghaṃ namami. And then we usually pay respects again to, now was the Buddha, then we pay respects towards the teachers one more time.
And to close, we'll pay respects to Ajahn Asoko and any monk who's in front of us.